Okay. So I clicked the button, and yeah, it says the Facebook is no more working. We are on the YouTubes and the reinventing the tattoo community. Uh, Please let us know if this is working for you. And I am going to give a little bit of an introduction before we get into this. This is digital editing for InkJet Stencils with Frank Concepcion. My pronunciation is horrible, but it's going to be an awesome. He's got some YouTube videos out there already, and this will be a good start to an example of digital editing your reference material and getting some great stencils out of it. If you have any questions then or comments, then leave them in the comments either in the live chat if you're watching live or just at the comments if you're watching the replay. Okay, so as I was saying, this is going out on the YouTubes, and yeah, look at that, it's working. And if we're in here, yeah, and it's going out on the mobile app. So this is the Reinventing the Tattoo Community and mobile app. So if you go to either of the app stores and download Reinventing the Tattoo, this is Guy Aitchison's free community. Of course, there is the subscription where you receive his canon. It's like the book, the videos. It's a massive resource with guest chapters, as well as exclusive Monday exercises with Guy, so you can get critiqued by Guy and the whole reinventing community if you want to. So yes, so download that app, and you can always follow along with all of the scheduling. You'll get notifications, but it's not going to be bullshit. It's just cool tattoo inspiration stuff. And yeah, I'm going to actually screen share while this is picking up some viewers, the mobile app community here. And this is care of InkJet Stencils, one of our main sponsors. And here you see the Reinventing the Tattoo community interface. You can either go to community.reinventingthetattoo.com or to either of the app stores and download it. And you will see here is the event schedule. And here we are. We have interviews with tattoo convention promoters. We have demos of awesome products. Every Thursday at noon, the Tattoo Collecting Podcast with Jordan Rookus and Fawn Baker. They interview awesome collectors. There's reinventing drawing groups that happen regularly. This next one that's coming up is Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern with Jason Lesser, also with special guest Devin Cooley, who's currently in the Boston area, a great illustrator, and he's going to be going through his whole process. On that Sunday night, we have a still life with Nick Baxter, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't checked out his landscape replay, you can. It was like a 2 or 3 hours. It's awesome. Nick is a tremendous talent, and he's also a great teacher, so he presents very well, and it's awesome. It's always great to check it out. So yeah, so check out the replays. You can check out his still life gallery, as well as watch live. And if you're painting along, then there's a chance that you could zoom in also. For the next couple Tuesdays, I think the next 6 Tuesdays, we have How to Build a Paul Rogers style prefab tattoo machine with Tony Urbanik. It's amazing. We are able to beam in with 1 or 2 cameras and check him out as he's building with pretty much hand tools a tattoo machine. The replays are going to be good forever. You can check it out whenever you're watching this. But if you are catching this live or soon, then you'll want to sign up so that you can catch the live replays, so you can catch the live webinars. And but yeah, it's like $300, so it's well worth it. Again, even if you're watching this years from now. We have, I'm just going to kind of hammer through this. We have art nights that are happening in Spanish. We have an Italian one that's coming up next Wednesday. We have some actual live events planned. Brussels this November, presuming that vaccines and quarantines are permitting. We'll be over there at the Brussels Tattoo Convention doing art jams and beaming in some of these events live and doing seminars and such. Also, the Hell Cities in 2022, he's doing in the future. The replays that are available of all of these exercises, actually they exist here in the library. And then I'll just show you how to get here, library. Then we've got videos, and this has all of the replays of all of the shows so that you can get lost here. This is amazing to throw on in the background of your tattoo shop, whether either the front room or while you're getting tattooed and whatnot. All the free community is brought to you, thankfully, to our sponsors, And in this case, we want to go out of our way to thank InkJet Stencils, who are creating a system where you can manipulate your images on the computer, print them out, and get these stencils like this. So as you can imagine, this saves quite a bit of time and whatnot. We do have a stencils group here, so you could upload your InkJet stencil porn. There's examples and demos where there's a couple of examples here and a demo of a back piece being printed out by Andre Malcolm. So this is a pretty cool video. And yeah, he's got this oversized printer here, and I'm just gonna flip through here, but you can see it's pretty sweet. So yeah, so InkJet Stencils is also going to give free tests. So if you're interested, but not necessarily ready to purchase the whole setup, you can give it a shot here. And as you just watched me navigate, there is instructions here on how to treat some images, send them over to InkJet Stencils, and then they'll send you back priority mail your stencil. So that means you could prepare for some upcoming tattoos and check it out. It'll be pretty cool. So it looks like we've got some people watching, so feel free to let us know where you are in the chat room and if you have any questions. But mostly we are here to check out what Frank has to say. He's beaming in from the Dominican Republic. So yeah, I'm pretty excited not only to check out what you have going on and share the screen a little bit, but also you're gonna have to bring that camera and show us what we got down there. It's snowing here.
This
Yeah.
have a beautiful weather, so you can feel a little jealous.
It is, but it's also beautiful. If I could show, I don't want to muck around with my camera, but if I could show you outside, it's beautiful light.
I believe so. I believe so.
So how are you doing? So I guess we could just start off with getting a little bit of background.
Yeah.
Let the people viewing know a little bit about who you are, and you have some videos already that are out on the YouTube that are pretty popular. So anyways,
Yeah,
like I
yes, I
said,
do.
let's hear from you, and I'll back out.
So, what can I say? I'm a tattoo artist, been tattooing for a couple of years now. I say like 5, 6 years. I come up with a background of art, been painting since I was 6, professional painting. Went to a college, graduated from there as a fine arts, a minor in graphic designer, photo and illustrator and all that stuff, good stuff. But yeah, then a couple years back, I would say we came around InkJet, and it was a life changing where it make everything easy for a tattoo artist. But previous to that, I was designing on trying to see how can I improve my graph, I would say, as a tattooer. And I believe it was in the beginning of February of 2018, we came across InkJet, and since then we click, and it's become a family now. I've been working with the products for since then. Since I tried the first time, it hasn't been one day that I haven't used it. Like, it's being a game changer. The previous where I used to work before, the shop that I used to work before, it was incredible because it was 7 artists, and we have to be waiting for them to be using the stencil, then waiting my time and all that. It was a time consumer. And with the InkJet, it changed. Like, we have the stencil done in 30 seconds as the most. What else?
Awesome.
It's been awesome. That's the only thing I can say. I tried once, and since we tried, it was like perfect click.
Nice. And now you have your desktop. You're able to share that. So do you want to show us maybe some of the images as you switch them around? And maybe, I don't know if you have it convenient, but maybe some of your tattoos and art. And
Yeah, I don't know if I have any tattoos on this computer of mine. Maybe I can pull it out from my internet, like my Instagram. But
yeah,
I can show you. Let me show.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually, let's see. I'm still new to this. Zoom.
We do have a cheers from Mexico from Jose.
Great. So I actually make a couple edit already that I can walk you through, which is actually the most common, I would say the most common question that people ask. What like How does it work? Does it work for photo? Does it work for faces? Does it work the same for animals or texture or different things? So that's basically the first one. It's like a face. I'm gonna walk you through how to do it. Each one is basically the same. It's just a little twist on Photoshop to make the best out of it. Um, that's like a tiger. So a little texture of the hair. You can actually see how good it does it. And I actually have the stencil here that I will show you after.
Could you zoom in maybe a little bit? If
Definitely. Let me take this out, this line, because it's a little there you go. So I don't know if you can see all the texture there. How's that? That's good?
yeah, that's great.
Great. So let me go back to the face as well. And I have another face here, which is a little more texture on the hair, face, and all stuff like that. And also flowers. Let me just delete this one, flowers, which is a lot of people be like, oh, does it work in flowers? How does the texture? The same thing, the background. Is everything easy, to be honest. Unless, what can I say? It's just a tool. Everything is a
Yeah,
tool in the, I'm
could,
sorry?
could you go to the photos of these and kind of go
Yeah,
back and forth?
of course, of course. So basically this is a photo and I should delete that one. That's the photo. And this is actually the final products. Super easy to make. It's nothing hard on this step by step that I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. Let's see the faces now. So let's say with the face here, that's the stencil, and this is actually the photo. So as you see, you don't lose any details on it. It's pretty good. Even with it like the shadow and lightning, um, the lightning lines already. There's a different way of doing it, to be honest, but I'm gonna show you the basic. I have every time that we do like a convention, we try to teach everybody how to do it, and any question that they have, they actually a lot of people that I show them how to use them. After like I show them how to use, I don't think that none of them have go back to the regular tattoo and printing and outlining by hand. It's a lifesaver. So why don't we just start with the first one? Which one you think will be the best or the hardest that you think the people will be like, oh, how will we do this?
I would. Why don't you just start with the flowers? Because
Sounds of flowers.
those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But definitely, we want to definitely check out the portraits too. But
All right. So I made a folder here for this specific seminar. Let's call it like that. Let's open here. So basically, I'm gonna walk you through like the first thing you do, like Photoshop. But for those that actually don't know how to use Photoshop, it would be cool. It would be good to actually show them how to get to this process here. So basically, we just open on file, and we're just gonna create a new file. And then I already have it pre-save on the one that I want to use. But you can save. I normally work in inches, so I change here and work it as inches. And I normally like my canvas to be somewhere around the area that I'm gonna be working as a tattooer. So if it's gonna be like an arm, it's around 9 inches. I normally give it 12 and 12. So it's 12 by 12 canvas. And I just hit enter to create or hit create, whatever it works best for you guys. So from here, it's just as easy as going to file and import it, wherever, like export it, import the picture. But I think it take too much time like that. So what I do, I just open it, like the where it is, and I just drag it into the Photoshop, and it automatically just gonna open it there. So that's step one, the easiest. Next step that we can actually do after, like from here, I actually like to I think it's called restoring. So I click here, and this does when you click it is take the little square and convert it into a solid image into Photoshop. So it's not as heavy to work on it. It's gonna be easy to go back and forth. If not, it's just gonna freeze your computer because it's too big. I just duplicate that now and just make this off so I can work with the one on the top. And then from here, it's a lot of steps, but once you master how to do it one by one, it's easy. After there, we're just gonna create a go to image, and we're gonna create this image solid black and gray, because it's easier to work black and gray than working with colors, some colors, just so it doesn't make you confused. So we go in black and white. And some people like to play around with the color saturation. Like you can make it lighter and all that. It all depends. I like to keep it just normal. So that's another one. Then we duplicate again the layer. And we work again with the one on top. The reason why normally like graphic designer do like each steps in a different layer is so if something goes wrong with the layer previous to that one, we just delete that one and start from fresh from the previous step. Does it sound good into there? Or am I going too fast? Gabe?
No. It sounds this is all good.
Okay, great. So,
but the step by step is great because people will watch it and then they'll rewatch it,
yep.
And then for the first couple of times, it's always good to kind of go through for sure.
Okay, so cool. So basically, we're here. So from there, the easiest step to make a stencil. Yes, there's a lot of apps that make it easy where you can actually print it straight up from the iPhone or from the Android for wherever you have the app download. It's called. We're going to filter. And from filter, we're gonna hit filter gallery. And what this is gonna do is gonna bring another screen here. I have to move it because my camera is there. I don't wanna. So since I did an update yesterday, the new Mac, I don't know what happened with the Photoshop that I have to reinstall it, I guess. But normally you're gonna select the layer which is called photocopy, and this is gonna make a outline straight up from the image. So we click that one, and then normally you can actually see the image here, like what you're playing around, like the previous before you actually save it.
Rough.
Yeah, but
that's what you're saying is you recent just to reiterate.
Yeah, yesterday there was thing. I try to like get prepared. I don't want nothing to jack. I want to like do the new update, the Apple throw to the computer, and that just play back fire to me. But it doesn't matter because it's easier. I can actually show you another step that I use, which is easier. This is the most easier one, and I call this one the outline stencil. So playing with this, going back and forth, you can actually just get used to whatever however many details you want in the image. But I already have it set up on what I feel comfortable with. So I'm just gonna click OK, and when I'm hit OK, it's gonna just change the image to outline. So this is what I call normally outline. So from here, we can already print it. Some artists feel comfortable because it gives you a lot of details, as you can see, and a lot of like depthness into it. I like it like that. That's the step one. We call it that one the step one of the stenciling. But what happened was with the time I was getting confused with, and some lines, as you can see here, it wasn't as clear. And I used to duplicate this and multiply it so it can be transparent. And by doing that, it goes darker. You see? Go darker little by little. But I thought that was like a time consumer. So I remember back in college, we have a fusion of shadows. Of like make it the shadow darker in some image. So I was like, why we don't create this and see how it looks? And I came across this. So basically, I duplicate the image 3 times. This is actually the photo, like in black and gray. I'm not working with the first one, which is in color. I normally save that one just as a backup. So I duplicate that one 3 times. And from here, I select the previous one. So these 2 are visual. Then I go into this window, we say normal, and I select the color dodge. By clicking the color dodge, the image is gonna change. Oh wait, let me just Let me stay there. Here, the first layer. So as you can see, it's easy to make mistakes. So it's no problem because you're always gonna be working on this layer. You're normally not working on this one. This one stays normal, and it's a reason why I show you later on. So when I select the image and then I change it into color dash here, then what you're supposed to do is to convert it, inverse the color. So anything that is black is gonna become white, and anything that's white is gonna become black. And by doing that, we're gonna select the Control and I or Command I on the Windows or Mac. And when we do that, the image is gonna look something like this. So we're not gonna get scared on that part yet because we need a filter to make the image transparent so we can see the shadows and some outline and more details in the picture. So we go into filter, and on filter, we're gonna select blur, and from blur, we're gonna hit glassing blur. And here, I don't know if you remember the first step that I gave you when we created the outlining, where you couldn't see the shadow and other things like here. So here we can actually play around with that. You can actually see as soon as you change something on the settings on that filter, it's gonna change. It's gonna change immediately into the image. So basically, I like it where I can see some shadows, more details, and just click OK. And from here, this is actually where I like to put together both of the layers. The first one step that we create, and now this one is the second step. So they are two different. One is for outline, the other one is for shading. But when you combine it together, it's gonna give you a better understanding of the image and stencil. So we just select the first layer on top, and then we're gonna create multiply. And when we do that, you can actually see some more details on the stencil. How is that, Gabe?
Yeah, cool.
See, so the image that we couldn't see before, here, like you see those outline. When you actually create it together, you can actually see more details into it. So that's basically the step to go to do a perfect stencil that I call it perfect stencil. I share this with many great artists, Randy, Putch, who else? Man, so many of them. Steve Butcher.
Oh yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah, and they
Randy
love it.
Englehart's, he's sick of poaches too. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually share and did a couple stencils and Tommy Tattoo Convention in Hartford. It was awesome.
Sure.
It was awesome. So from here, it's just printing. If this is a little bit uncomfortable for you guys or for anybody as a tattooer because it can get messy once you put it in the stencil, what I like to do is basically just take that off. So I select the last layer and select the tool, the erase tool. And it's as easy as just going over. But it's really important to select the third layer. You see there's just 3 layers open. The other one is just a backup. So we select that one and we just can just erase the area that's a little confused for some people. But it's all about getting used to the tool. It's just like a new machine. I remember when we went from coil to rotary, it was like a big change for a lot of people. Some people love it, some people hate it, but now it's actually the game changer, in my opinion. Some people still like the coil, which is great. I love them.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a class that's building a Paul Rogers style machine with hand tools.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I was watching it yesterday, right?
It was it was on yesterday. He's been doing it the last 3 Tuesdays.
After I saw that one, I actually went back and I remember buying a machine from one artist, and it was hand built, and I still have it. It was awesome. That's what I'm saying. It was a big change going from coils to machine like rotary, but after you get used to something, it's hard to go back to another again.
Well, now you have the pens that have the batteries and
exactly. I have the FK, and it's I don't even got the cables no more. So going back to this, So this is, I believe this is like a great stencil. And there's another step here. Since we're here, I have time to show you. Where is, if this is too dark, you know, when you actually mirror it and you put it into the skin, sometimes it's just mirror under the skin, or it kind of smudge into the skin. So there's a way to actually take this out, just like step ahead. So what I like to do is select the previous um, two layers here and just group it and convert it into an image. And then deselect. Oh, so let me just go back one step to the grouping. This is here, and I'm gonna create this a layer, a new layer. And you can see when I create that one, it gives you a little arrow here, which is actually the part that you delete. It's a little bit hard, for me to explain right now. For those that I'm not a graphic designer, but what I do, I just select the paint bucket and inverse the color into a white, and just on the layer that we just create, we just paint it. And when we paint it, now I can convert this layer into an image. But I also like to, or I suggest you guys to save each step that you make, just in case you want to go back into the old step. So going to the layer, the previous layer, we select that layer, and now we just click, right click or double click, whatever you guys want to call it, and we're gonna convert it into a solid image. So when we convert it, it's just gonna give you the full benefit of the image. Now we're gonna rectify again. Restores that, exactly that one. And so it give me a little less shadow, not too strong. What I like to do is just download, like put down the opacity of the picture, and you can actually see how light it gets. But I give me enough detail for me to see everything that I want to see in the image. So it's like I was saying to some people on the convention, this is not a tattoo printer. This is a printer, a regular printer, but it's a tool that is gonna change the way that you tattoo. Why? Because the printer, yes, you can print a regular photo and you're gonna stick it into the picture. And if you can read it, you're gonna be awesome with it. But it also is gonna make it easy for time consumer, and also easier on the artist to read the tattoo. I don't know if it makes sense. A lot of people be like, "Oh, that was cheating. Now everybody can tattoo because this printer is gonna change. It changed the industry. Now it's more about, before it was art. Now it can print."
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I believe this is just a tool for you to become a greater artist. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I imagine how many hours it must save on people's hands.
trust me, that's why once I try it, I never went back, because this stencil, believe it or not, it would probably take me, I would say like an hour just to do the outline, printing outline. And the biggest problem was that if the stencil was wrong or it was too small for the area that you want to work, you have to start over again. So now that's time then the artist is losing on the piece, and also on the client. It was a little rough, you know. But doing it this way, you can actually go from let me make it so you can.
I mean, obviously, there's some sort of benefit of hand repetition. So by the time you're tattooing it, you've like drawn it a couple times, and hand's gone over it a couple times. But like the benefit at this point of the time saved to the
it's a time saver.
is,
I'm telling you, I used to do a stencil, and it would be like in a face 2-3 hours in a face doing a stencil. And when I do this, it takes me 30 seconds to do a stencil, which. And if I make a mistake putting it, I just can print it again. And by printing, it's gonna take what, 10 more seconds to print. So you didn't see what I just did. So what I did now, it was, so when you make the stencil, you have to invert it or mirror the image so you can put it into the skin. That's a good. Some people actually ask me that question. Oh, but when you print it, it comes out as a like invert. And when you tattoo, you have to invert the stencil on the Photoshop. The printer is not gonna do it. Some printer does, they do invert it for you, but why not saving time and ink like on the on here. So what I do, I select both layers. I select both and I just literally just flip it like this. And they just flip. And now I just print it, like I just hit print. And by print it, I can actually select how big it's gonna be, where I want it and things like that. And then when you hit print, it's gonna cancel because I already had a print. You're basically gonna be looking something like that. I don't know if you can actually see it on the
Yeah, you know what?
camera.
If you stop your screen share,
Yep.
then you can start it back up again.
Okay. So I stop and share it again.
No. Now you show off the stencil.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna share it back again.
No. Now when you're pointing the stencil up to the
Oh, I
camera,
see
people
what you
can see
mean.
it.
Oh, okay, because it was small. It was too small. I'm sorry. I'm new to this, but
Oh, good.
we can manage it.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
you can actually see. And the good thing about this, they gave it as well, is that let's say you're doing a convention or something like me. I travel a lot, and I normally like to print my stencil um, before I travel. So when you print it, it doesn't matter how old or how like new it is, as long as it's dry, once you actually apply the stuff into your skin, it's gonna reactivate the pH on your skin and it's gonna absorb it. So that's another
Nice.
benefit that we couldn't do before with the previous products. Like this is just a game changer. And you can actually see how clear and how much detail does it print, like the print it does into the stencil.
Well, that actually leads us to a question that we got in from Wolf. He's got one of the Epson. Oh, I'll just read it out. What printer are you using? He bought an Epson printer a few years back with InkJet, and it hasn't worked properly since I got it. I haven't even used it on one tattoo. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's probably a question for Epson Tech, but on the other hand, we want to make sure people know what you're
Yeah.
using, and if you have any tips for
Yeah, no, yeah.
troubleshooting a printer.
The most important thing that I can tell you is like we don't sell or Inject doesn't sell the printer. That's just
Yeah.
we sell the ink for it. So the printer that I'm using is an Ensum. I believe it's a 2651, which is the most basic one, but is the most beautiful one because it's easiest, smallest, can travel. I also have the biggest one. I believe it's a 7. I don't remember the number exactly. I don't want to say the wrong one, but I also have the newest one, which is just one tank, and it's the M1120, I believe. So as long as you're using equal tank, you don't have no problem because you're gonna refill the ink. You know. Now it have to be a new printer. You cannot use an old printer that you have. It have to be all new, and that's a normal question that a lot of people use. Can I use the one that I already have home and just buy the ink? I'm like, it have to be important that you're using a new one because you don't want to contaminate the ink, and you also want the ink to be working at the best on the printer. I don't know if I answered the question right or
Yeah, no, that sounds right. And it really does feel like having a dedicated printer just for the stencils. It would be like having a stencil machine. You don't want to be like printing out a million other things
Mhm.
on your stencil machine. You want it dedicated to
Yeah. I
your
have
stencils.
on my studio I have a printer just for pictures, and another one just for stencil. I don't mix both of them,
Mm-hmm.
but um, yeah, it's a good thing that you can actually travel with the stencil, and then it doesn't mirror off or it doesn't damage. You can just put it anywhere you want, like your suitcase or something. I normally wear it on my book bag inside my iPad, and if I have to make it big, if I have to make it small, it's so easy as well. So another question that people ask me, like since we're here, is size. How can I make a picture um, bigger, or can I make it smaller, or anything like that? So on Photoshop, you can go as big as you want to. So I have the inches here, as you can see, of the camera that I'm using. As a when in the beginning, I said it was gonna be a 12-inch by 12-inch. So that's as big as you can print the stencil right now. So so you can have an idea, or those that actually are looking. So if I select the print, this is actually how the printer is gonna print the size. So exactly how you actually show it on the printer is how big it's gonna be. But what happens if you wanna make it twice as the size and you only have a page, it's just 8 by 6 by 11. Thank God that they now have a bigger one, which is great. But those that actually like me, I don't have it yet. There's a way that we can actually put them together like an old school where you print two different and then you assemble it together with tape and just it's gonna work the same. So we just make the image bigger, the size that you want it. And now what I do is let's say I print each layer. So I print this one and then I move it and then print the other side. And now we have a image that double the size and it's easier. You just cut it, put it together where it's supposed to be and just tape it and you just have a bigger stencil. I don't know if if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
I mean, people probably have to do it a time or two to.
Yeah, but that's a good thing that we actually have this tool now where they can actually just go back and forth whatever they like, whatever they get lost. And if they have any question, they can just write straight up to InkJet or myself. I don't mind answering those questions if I have the time to answer. I don't mind. So that's the most, I would say the first one.
Cool. And then do you want to maybe save the photorealism maybe for a future stream, or do you want to do that right now?
I don't mind. I don't mind. We can do another one. We can do the face. And then we can break it down maybe to put it together. Talk a little bit about the printer if you want in another session.
Yeah, cool.
Now we can do the animal in the next session as well.
Sweet.
But the most important, will be I believe we just we can do a face. Yeah, it's gonna be the same steps. I'm not gonna save this ones because I already know how to use it. So I just deleted it, start from fresh. So we're gonna just open the Canva, the size you want it. You hit OK. When you hit OK, it's gonna bring you this window in Photoshop, and then you just select the size that you want. So it's not gonna be. I always work in inches because I don't know. That's what I grew up with. I don't know pixel, anything like that. I think it's more easy in inches. After you select here, you can select the size. Some people actually select the size of the page, and they just click here, and it's just gonna give it a size. But we're just gonna go back to the face. So
we do have a comment in from one of the chat rooms. Boss John Lankarik, my pronunciation really is horrible, but thank you for the comment. He says, or she says, they say, I have an M1120 Epson. I use the Eco Electrum Stencil ink, the best. I think that's probably one of the alternatives, but
okay.
Which is it? The 1120 Epson? Is that the same printer?
That's the printer. Yeah, that's actually the printer that I'm using here in the Dominican Republic as now. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's actually give you a good picture quality. I'm using, as you can see, like I'm gonna work with this face now, but as you can see, let me just stop the sharing.
You know what? Yeah, stop your screen share.
Yep. So good. So as you can see, the stencil on this one, I'm actually gonna work on this one now. It's really clear, and it's, as I said before, it's the printer, which printer we use. They all depend. It depends. This is actually the M1120 that I'm using on this one, and you can actually see how crispy. This is actually with the ink or the InkJet Stencil. I have tried the others, and to be honest, it's too messy. This is the most the one that I like the best. And some people like to tattoo it like this as well, where they just print the picture and just go straight up from straight up for tattooing. But you can actually see how much detail the printer does, and with the ink is awesome. I don't know if it gives you the best quality there, but it gives you so much detail. I love it. But I'm gonna show you how we can actually get there now.
Sweet.
So selecting from the folder, we just open. I use this one. and I just drag straight up to the Photoshop, and I just click enter. Once again, we always work with a copy layer. We
Can you
never
make
work
it
with the
bigger in the screen, or?
Of course. Make it here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Actually gonna make the image a little bigger so people can see more detail.
Perfect.
So the first step is to actually how you read rectilize. So we're gonna select this here. Rectify. So hard to pronounce. And by doing that, we're just gonna make the image a little solid so it's not as big to work on Photoshop. It doesn't stop your computer frozen. It happened to me so many times. So we're just gonna copy it, image, and we're always gonna work with the copy. Then from here, we're gonna repeat the same process. Copy again, and we're gonna select the photocopy. I don't know why. Oh, is there a reason why it's not showing me now? There you go. Not selected. So we're just gonna filter. From filter, we're gonna go into filter gallery, and from here, we're actually gonna play around with the settings here. Whatever works best for you. I'm sorry because I can't see it right now, but I already have mine set up for 14.4. It's the best that I can. And then, okay, so Gabe, this is a good arrow that the computer make here now, but there's a good way of taking this away. And the reason why this happened, it was because it's not select as black on top. So we're supposed to always use it like black on top, black layer on top, and then white on the bottom. So this doesn't happen. If some of y'all make that mistake, this is the reason why. So there's one way to do it. We can either invert the picture, but if you don't know how to invert a picture by selecting Command I, then we just delete this one and we just duplicate it again. I just duplicate it. We just duplicate this folder. Okay, there you go. And now we just select the filter again, filter gallery. And by now, when we click filter gallery, because we have this one on top, the black on top and white, then we can actually select the filter gallery. And trust me, it took me months to figure this out. So much. And then I realized what it was. But so we just select that one. Then that's just a stencil. Some people love it. As I said before, I love to make my tattoo like this. But if you want to incorporate some shading into it, there's another way of using it as well, where we just go to step number 2. We just duplicate the picture, and we always work on the picture duplicated. And then we select the color dodge. And from color dodge, we're just going to invert the color again by selecting Command I. Now, this is a perfect way of seeing it. Now, if you guys asking yourself, why am I looking some color? And the reason why is because we never invert or we never turn the color into black and white. So this is basically what happened when some image that are black and white, I'm not turning before from the previous step, from step number 1, this is the reason why. I don't think it's a big change, so I really don't put too mind to that one here. So from this step, now we're gonna select the filter, and it's gonna be blur, and then gasset blur. And here we can actually see a little more detail and a little more depth into the shading and tool, the eyes and all that. But it's all about how you get used to it. Here you can actually just select and make this one the stencil, like the outline stencil, which that's how I used to do it before. But doing with the photocopy, I think it's a little more advanced or more easy. So I'm just gonna create a little shadow for me to work on the tattooing. Select OK, and then select the first layer and multiply on top. So we're gonna select the first layer and multiply on top of the second steps. So you can actually see the different layer. So it's all about what you like. I believe it's all about how you feel more comfortable. Here, I normally don't like to see all this mess like on the face. I kind of like disturbing. So what I normally do, I push it down, or I erase the image under. This one, the first one, the last one on top. So you see how it start like clearing. It's just a little more advanced, but it's just good for you guys to know what happened. And but that's pretty much it. You got the stencil there. We select all layers by either dragging this tool, selecting all layers, and we either put it there on the line and just flip it just to make a better and safe stencil, or we have another way of doing this. But you just by selecting the rule and dragging the line wherever the edge of the picture is, and then just using that as a guide or where it's supposed to stop. And then just like that, we have the stencil. And as you can see, once you print it, I'm gonna stop my screen sharing now so you can actually see once again the image of the stencil, how it came out. So you can see the hair is pretty clear, pretty readable. The eyes is really important. Also the nose and the beard and the mouth is like super clear. And I don't know.
Cool.
I believe this is the best tool I have used so far. Maybe they upgraded.
Well, it is pretty amazing to see the not only to watch what you're doing here, but watching Andre with those big ass that big ass printer.
Yeah, I was amazed. When I saw the big printer, I was amazed. I was like, wow, that's another game changer. And I do it the old way where I actually print both pictures, like more page.
Sure.
But that saves you time and it's awesome as well. So that's another plus for the industry. The tool.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Thanks again for taking the time to walk us through this, and we'll definitely have to set aside some time in the future to
thank you for inviting me.
Revisit some of the other nooks and crannies of the InkJet Stencil world.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and maybe next time you guys can, those that are viewing us have any question, we give you some time for you to put together, and then we can just answer maybe in the next broadcast.
Absolutely. Hey, let's pick up the camera. Can we get a peek outside and see the
outside?
See what it's like in the Dominican Republic right now?
Yeah. Let me see if the Wi-Fi don't break down. I'm actually gonna show you.
Well, if it does, we'll know why. It's
yeah. So.
It is amazing using technology to be like windows into different parts of the world. Yeah.
I know, right? So I'm in La Vega, the Dominican Republic, and this is the weather right now.
Oh yeah.
You can actually see some greens.
Nice.
It's super nice. Super nice here. Yep. But I'm actually at my friend's music studio. That's what one of my customers as well. Where I doing my broadcast today. They actually was working and gave me the time for
nice
work here.
Awesome. And so how can people normally find you, or not how can they normally find you? How can people find you and get in touch to check out your tattoos?
So best way to use it is actually just like we have in the broadcast. Franco Tattoo is on Instagram, Facebook, same thing, Franco Art, Franco Tattoo or Franco Art. And I would say that those are the best way of finding me.
Awesome. You said you were traveling a lot. Do you have a couple home bases, or you?
Well, I have a lot of friends, and they normally fly me to tattoo them. I think they're more safe. Me going there, I mean, to the area that they're flying now. For example, I have a customer Last 2 weeks, no, 2 weeks ago, they booked me for the whole week from like 2 months in advance. And they were scared because of the virus. And they were like, Frank, it wouldn't be easier for you to come, we can pay you, but
Uh-huh.
it's not about the money. But I was like, you know what? Why not? They booked me the whole week and they came. But at the end, it's like they say, we spend more money coming here, even though they appreciate my art and I appreciate that, then we flying you over there. So I'm like, whatever worked for you guys. So I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for like 2-3 years.
Awesome.
I just, when I have an opening 2 or 3 days, or they book me for months in advance, I just take the time to come and work with them, whatever piece they want.
Sweet. And so where's your home base? Where would people normally find you?
Oh, in Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut. I'm actually moved from the old shop that I have, but I'm working in a second shop now, a little closer in New Haven. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram and all that, but it's in New Haven,
Sweet.
Connecticut.
Cool. Awesome. I love the pizza there. I'm gonna go down and get a Pepe's right now, actually.
Pizza, yeah, New Haven. It's super famous. That we have it there, and we think that New York pizza is better than the one in New Haven.
I'm always down for the taste test. Whenever anybody says it, I think I'm preferential to the New Haven pizza, but I did grow up there, so like I said, I would always be happy to have that competition.
Hopefully, when you come down here, we can meet up and we can cross some work together, face to face, and meet up.
Absolutely, it'll be as soon as we can. Basically,
Hopefully.
I'm down.
Hopefully.
But awesome. Well, we'll catch up offline and figure out when we could do this again, and then we'll have some time. We'll put up a little promotion. We'll get people watching the replay and
Sounds good.
Catch up in the future.
Great. For those that are viewers, thank you for watching. And once again, if you guys have any questions next time we go back on live, I can answer any questions.